All right. Even though I said in the title of my last video that it ain't over until it's over, but it's over, I'm glad that it's not unofficially officially over, if you know what I mean. The San Antonio Spurs, they continue the trend of this series. The away team winning each game so far, in which the Spurs took game three, the first game in Madison Square Garden since 1999, first finals game, 115 to 111, and they have a chance to tie this series coming up tonight. But the last game, I was very impressed with how they handled the ball, how they didn't fold in the clutch, and they weathered the storm from the Knicks' insane second quarter. And I have a few takeaways to tell why this happened. No intro necessary. It's Bobby Smooth. You already know what to do. Now, my first takeaway is that Wemby was getting a lot more looks, easy looks at the rim. It's like the Spurs actually realized he's 7'5" and that he should be getting shots and passes at the rim. So this game, it was easily Wemby's best offensive game. He had 32 points on 11 of 18 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, and 8 of 9 from the free throw line to go along with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, just 1 turnover. He had 10 turnovers in the first 2 games and 5 stocks in 39 minutes. I'm just so happy that he played like his size. I counted the amount of lobs or entry passes that he got in this game that led to either a bucket or him getting fouled. It was 9. The Spurs, they simplified their offense. They went away from Wemby doing so much self-creation and focused on him getting those easy looks right when the game started. Fox lobbed it to Wemby to start the game to break the seal. Then later on, he had a screen and roll for a dump-off pass from Castle to get another easy bucket. And this is what I'm talking about, man. Get Wemby close to the basket. Yes, he can self-create. Yes, he has that mid-range pull-up, but we all know he's most dangerous going to the basket. I'm sounding like a dead horse at this point, and I really don't need to elaborate any more on that aspect. It was beautiful to see that Castle just getting him those great looks. He had a nice half-court lob when he got double-teamed. He just threw it up there only where Wemby could reach it, and he brought it down and went back up for a layup. This was just awesome, awesome execution. And we just see overall that the best version of the Spurs offense is Wemby as a play finisher, not a play creator. And obviously, Wemby was still great on the defensive end. I mean, he's Wemby. He's inherently always going to be great. He had 5 stocks, like I said earlier. He had a steal on Brunson. He blocked Landry Shamit's layup late in the fourth quarter. And early in the fourth quarter, he had an impressive play when he deterred OG Anunoby and Josh Hart from shooting layups at the rim. They dribbled it out, and then they hit Mikal Bridges in the corner, and Wemby blocked the 3. And then in transition, that led to a Devin Vassell 3 from Fox's dribble and kick into the paint. That's what I'm talking about, man. Just Wemby being that intimidator. And I wonder what that stat is called when a player is deterred from shooting at the rim when they drive with the intention of shooting, but then because Wemby or Rudy Gobert, for example, was there, they dribble it out. There's some kind of stat that I remember the commentators talk about in game 2 of what that is, but whatever that is, the NBA should have tracked that stat going forward. But then first quarter, there was a controversial play, of course. Wemby shoved Brunson to the ground when after he got screened onto him, Brunson got up in Wemby's face and Wemby just smiled. That shove, in real time, it didn't seem that bad, but yeah, upon review, I'm like, ugh, that was kind of bad. So Wemby, for right now, you might not be beating the dirty player allegations. I mean, you did get away with knocking out Nas Reed with that elbow, and you didn't get a suspension. But yeah, I digress. Now, my second takeaway is that Stephon Castle's bully ball on offense and him finding Wemby in the paint was a game changer for the Spurs. I really like how Stephon Castle really stepped up as the Spurs' secondary offensive creator. He was pretty inconsistent in the first couple games. He wasn't necessarily really bad, but he just didn't have the most efficient performances. But in this one, easily his best game in the series thus far. 23 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. His three-point shot has been progressively better since the All-Star break, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line to go along with 5 boards, 5 assists, and 2 stocks in 38 minutes. Stephon Castle, he's simply a bruiser when it comes to his offensive game. He loves to absorb contact. He seeks it out, and he's so strong that he's either going to get fouled or, in this case, he finishes a lot of these tough shots, man. He had a nice cross and drive in the first quarter on Mikal Bridges where he did his patented deceleration Euro step, and that went past Brunson, and he got the N1 layup on Mikal. That was just dope. He also had simple shots like a free throw line jumper over Josh Hart. He drew a foul on Landry Shamet after a driving spin in the second quarter. Shortly after, he had a nice play where he just attacked Karl Anthony Towns off the screen and just had a nice layup. And then he had a dope play later on, too. He had a nice play where he did a Euro step on Josh Hart, absorbed the contact, and finished the tough contested layup. And at that point, he had 13 points in just 12 minutes. Later on, Jordan Clarkson, he stole the ball from Devin Vassell, but then he instantly threw it away to Stephon Castle. And then he got Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns up in the air to jump on multiple pump fakes, absorb the contact from Cat, and finish with the N1 layup and had that nice little flex on him while Cat looked on in despair because he picked up that foul. Just offensively, he has been a dog. And that's nothing new because he's been a dog all season. And defensively, he was a game changer as well with picking up Jalen Brunson full court. He's been doing that since last game. We know he has those long arms and he can poke balls away. He really set the tone in the second half when he poked the ball away from Jalen Brunson. I'm at half court right when the second half started. Additionally, he did have a play where he shoved Jalen Brunson. He fell really hard to the ground. In real time, it looked like he got shoved really hard, in which it looked like a flagrant. But upon review, Castle didn't extend his arms, and Brunson, who's known for taking charges, just fell really hard. I'm not saying it wasn't legit, but knowing Brunson knows how to fall, he maybe sold it a little too good, but perhaps maybe not good enough because upon review, it was just a common foul. So maybe that one is kind of questionable of whether is that one a flagrant or not. You know, a little questionable. But yeah, Stephon Castle overall, great game. Takeaway number 3 is that the Spurs took care of the ball and shared the sugar really well. So in this game, the Spurs had 28 assists on 39 made field goals. And they were actually plus 10 on the Knicks in assists. Different from last game when the Knicks were the ones who were passing the ball more. And then the turnovers, just 8 turnovers this game, 5 less than the Knicks. And in the first 2 games, the Spurs had a whopping 29. They were night and day with handling the ball. De'Aaron Fox, even though he had a horrible shooting game, once again, 12 points, 4-14 from the field, or 5 from 3. He had 8 assists and 2 turnovers, and also to go along with 3 stocks. But yeah, he was just making those right passes, swinging the ball, also hitting Wemby on lobs too. He had a nice driving kick to Carter Bryant for the wide open 3. He had a skip pass to Julian Champagnie that he attacked Brunson on for a nice layup. Dylan Harper, he actually didn't have a good shooting game. 13 points on 5 of 18 from the field. 1 of 8 from 3. It was crazy because all of his threes were catch and shoot, and the one that he made was contested by Landry Shamet. All the other ones were either open, rimmed out, or semi-contested. But he made up in other areas. 9 rebounds. He was skying up high for rebounds contested. And he had 4 assists with no turnovers in 32 minutes. So overall, even though he didn't play a great game, he still continues to make a great impact off the bench. And the Spurs, like I said, no dumb turnovers in the clutch. They held on to their lead, knocked down their free throws when necessary. Shout out to Stephon Castle. And yeah, if they keep this up, it's going to be harder for the Knicks to come back in these clutch moments. Now, for my 4th takeaway is that the Knicks just struggled to find offensive consistency after that insane second quarter. Now, in that second quarter, the Knicks outscored the Spurs 42-24 after losing the first quarter 33-22. They shot a whopping 14 of 19 from the field, which is 74%. 6-9 from 3, 67%, and then 8 of 8 from the free throw line, which resulted in a true shooting percentage of 93.3. There simply wasn't anything they did wrong in that second quarter, really much at all. And then a part of that offensive inconsistency is Karl Anthony Towns, whose offensive presence in this game just has gradually gone down, and really in this series. I saw a glaring stat on Twitter, and then I just went to Basketball Reference just to confirm it, and it's true. Karl Anthony Towns has yet to score in the fourth quarter, in any fourth quarter in this series. In the first quarter through three quarters, he has 50 points on 19 of 29 from the field and 3 of 7 from three. But in the fourth quarter, that goes drastically down to 0 points on 0 of 6 from the field and 0 of 2 from three. For whatever reason, the Knicks just don't get him involved, which is a problem because I said in my last game review that the Knicks have to primarily play through Karl Anthony Towns, especially if they're going to win this series, because he hasn't gotten figured out. But yeah, Karl Anthony Towns, I think he had some foul trouble in this game. He was holding Wemby a lot in this game. They've been kind of letting that go to a certain degree, but they did call it at times, though. And then also in this game, no Mikal Bridges or Landry Shamet sparks. Mikal Bridges, after that great game two when he had 20 points, he follows that up with just 2 points on 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from three, 5 rebounds in 29 minutes. Throughout this game, it just looked like he just wasn't looking for a shot all that much. He wasn't a game changer like he was in game three. It's crazy, man. My girlfriend, so I was watching this game with my girlfriend, and she said that he looks like a screaming wombat. I laughed harder than I should have. Landry Shamet, not a Landry Shamet game today. Not a Landry Shamet game. Last game, just 3 points on 1 of 7 from three. He was getting similar looks that he had in the previous games, just this time they weren't hitting. On the bright side, on the positive, OG Anunoby, he was the best offensive player for the Knicks. 28 points on 9 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from three, and 7 of 9 from the free throw line to go along with 2 blocks in 38 minutes. He was knocking down his three-point shots, contested, attacking Wemby's closeouts again, getting to the mid-range. And then on defense, he was making his presence known, had a few blocks on Dylan Harper. He's blocked Dylan Harper quite a few times in this series, by the way. But the biggest offensive surprise for the Knicks, obviously Josh Hart. He had 16 points on 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from three. And to go along with 9 rebounds and 5 assists in 35 minutes, it's crazy because he only had 3 points on a combined 1 of 9 from the field in the first 2 games. But this game, he started off letting it fly. 3-pointers over Wemby, just catch and shoot, Knicks swinging the ball, finding him. But he definitely cooled off in the second half, though. But notably, I noticed that Josh Hart played 35 minutes in this game. And this is notably the first game that the Knicks have lost this series, and it's the first game that Josh Hart plays 35 plus minutes. And I went back and saw throughout the rest of the playoffs, in games in which he plays under 35 minutes, the Knicks are 10-0. But when he plays 35 or more minutes, they're 4-3. So it's really no coincidence that they won last game when he played 18 minutes, and then before when he played, I think, 26 minutes. I just don't think you should have Josh Hart out there for long periods of times in the game. He's a non-shooter that the defense can help off of. And when he's off the court, it just simply makes the Knicks more dangerous. But it just so happened to be that in game three, his shot was knocking down. And also crazy in the player announcements when he was announced to go out there. Did we see him using smelling salts? I wonder if that gave him a bit of an edge in that game, so that was kind of interesting. Before I forget, shout out to Jordan Clarkson. He had a great game off the bench. He had 10 points on 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from three in 13 minutes. He had a great shot in the third quarter when the offensive possession was going nowhere. Karl Anthony Towns was doubled by Castle and Cornette, and then he found Clarkson. And after he couldn't find anybody to pass it to late in the shot clock, he just took a step back, dribbled 3 over Champagnie, and just hit it. And that tied the game at 89. So Jordan Clarkson with a nice little spark off the bench. And my fifth and final takeaway is that Jalen Brunson continues to get hounded by Stephon Castle and company. And that led to a lot of turnovers. In this game, Jalen Brunson actually had his best offensive game of the series. 32 points, 11 of 25 from the field. Not great, but considering I think he was shooting 34% before, this is a great shooting game. 3 of 5 from three, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. 5 assists, but 5 turnovers and 5 fouls in 35 minutes. Castle was on his ass this game, man. And Brunson, I think he was kind of just a little bit out of his element. He had an offensive foul shoving Stephon Castle earlier on. He had his entry pass to Karl Anthony Towns knocked away for a turnover. Just throwing bad passes. Like he threw a bad pass to OG Anunoby near the half court where it was behind him, in which the Knicks were in the middle of being in a comeback. And yeah, that kind of, I think, killed it a little bit. He dribbled right into Julian Champagnie late in the game. That caused a turnover. But regardless, Brunson was still hitting tough shots. He had a catch and shoot three over Wemby in the second quarter. He had another catch and shoot three over Wemby after a defensive breakdown with OG Anunoby driving baseline and swinging it around the corner and got to the top of the key. Brunson hit it. He turned the corner on Wemby later in the second half, and he got a sidestep layup over Julian Champagnie. And then at the end, he was keeping the Knicks' chances alive. After Harper missed a three to put them up potentially by 6, he hit a three over Harper on the other end to have the lead be 3 with 33 seconds left to go. But just towards the end, it was late game, great execution by the Spurs. Stephon Castle hitting his free throws. And shout out to De'Aaron Fox, man. He had an awful shooting game, like I said, but he was poised enough to hit that mediocre OG to basically ice the game. De'Aaron Fox, he might have his struggles. I know he might be overpaid, whatnot, but hey, I think these are the moments that the Spurs got him for because he is a clutch player. But yeah, those are my 5 takeaways from Game 3 of the Finals. Game 4 is going to be happening tonight in MSG once again. And really, this is a pivotal game for both teams because the Knicks, they have a chance to essentially close the door on the series to go up 3-1. Obviously, just one team has came back from a 3-1 deficit in the Finals. Or the Spurs have a chance to further make this series interesting and win the 4th away game in this series and to go back to San Antonio tied 2-2 after leaving San Antonio down 0-2. Man, I think that we're going to be in for a special game. I think each game so far has been great in their own right. You have each game going into the clutch. You just don't know what's going to happen. If I were to predict tonight, I think the Spurs are going to win. I think they have figured out that, hey, Wemby needs that ball in the paint. He needs those easier shots. And we're going to live with him getting fouled or he's going to get a bucket. And even if he does get fouled, he's a great free throw shooter. Karl Anthony Towns, the Knicks, get him more involved if you guys want to shut the door on this series. Stop playing with y'all food. Well, not playing with y'all food. Just execute more consistently with Karl Anthony Towns and good things will happen. But those are my takes. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I'll see you guys next time and peace.